Welcome, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D tale. The Lucky Sevens have been on a trek from the Twilight Grove forest here on the continent of Dradith to the city of Combe, kind of wrapping around the lake that was and river that was far and wide to get across to the desert, the Pelwell Barrens across. And in these barrens is supposedly a pyramid in which, or ziggurats, that they're meant to go and explore. Or at least their companion Rune has been instructed to um, to explore and find out more about what this particular ziggurat is about. But the Lucky Sevens are split for the moment. A couple of them still staying at Bell's place, where the little Kenku that they've recently met, named Strings, his mother runs a tiny little tavern that only maybe has a couple of tables and a single communal bed space, with only a few beds in it. Strings obviously stayed behind with his mother in their personal space in this little residence, and their good friend Lagon had well, let's just say he had some personal fun time with a lovely dwarf woman. The others were kind of guided to a small temple, if you can call it a temple, of Moradin, the Soul Forger, where they were also put up for the night in a, again, communal sort of sleeping space with other monks from this order that that worship the Soul Forger. Happily, the monks provided them meals for the evening, places to sleep with fresh linens, and the they got their rest. And so, today, they will be venturing out onto more of the investigation that's about the goings on when it comes to the necromantic energies that are going on in the city. Or they might set aside some time to go out monster hunting, as an old friend of Vanya, Karthus, has recently created a bit of a guild, a monster hunters guild in this city. And monsters can be pesky nuisances when it comes to the average citizen of the city. So, the Lucky Sevens awake to a new morning, and Lagon, the woman that you had spent the night with, kind of rolls over and says, "Good morning."
Morning, beautiful.
Sleep well.
As well as I can. You?
Well, you take up most of the bed. I had to figure out something else. Yeah, large.
I don't fit in small spaces very well.
Obviously not. Well, I'm out for breakfast. And
I'll
she,
join you shortly. And Lagon would get up and begin going through his daily ritual
mm-hmm.
and prayers.
And she's putting on her clothing, her leathers, and kind of shouldering and belting her weapons to herself.
And Lagan will just do this skyclad
All
as he was made.
right. All right. And so she goes out into the main area for the tavern. Belle greets her in her kind of sing song sort of way, but also you can tell that it's a bunch of different voices strung together as well. The as the only thing that a kenku can do with its voice is mimic other voices. It does not have a voice of its own. But you finish up your morning rituals and you can join her for breakfast.
I
And
will.
and Strings, you're also present now that you've woken up and kind of gotten yourself ready as well.
I guess this time. Where's my notebook? Found it. Um, hmm, hmm. Everyone else went to temple.
What?
Temple Soul Forger.
Have I seen this place?
You've probably seen it in passing. It's probably got the symbol of the Soul Forger kind of in an arch over the doorway, and it was a rather simple looking building uh,
Ah,
for the one nearby, but
okay.
it's a single story, not very not very tall. The congregation room seems to be kind of small too,
Mm.
at least judging from the outside.
Maybe I'll meet up with them after breakfast. Morning, Belle.
Morning. She kind of gives that also sort of sing song, clock tower bell sound that is her name.
And what was my companion having for breakfast?
Just some ordinary like morning biscuits.
Don't take too many of them. Uh, I believe I wanted bacon.
Yes, we have bacon.
Bacon.
You hear Belle say.
Uh, I don't care what else, as long as there's some bacon with it, please.
Bacon and gravy.
Maybe some biscuits to go with the gravy.
Okay. And then Belle goes to the little kitchen area that she has, the fairly small kitchen area, and starts to cook up uh, a few little slabs of bacon.
Lagan looks to Strings. How was your night?
Um, good. Uh, I wrote. Uh, well, not wrote. I edited, edited.
Edit.
Uh, made edits to scary story,
Scary story.
scary story about ghosts.
Will you share your scary story with us?
Sure. Um, on a day like today, where the winds calmly sway, people. Yeah, I can't read. Anyone? Hold on. People are yet to rise from bed, but outside it stirs. From the ground rise the dead. The ghosts and ghouls swipe and bite. Towards the horde run heroes ready to fight. The clash of swords, the toll of the bell. The horde of the undead will then be quelled. Praise the heroes of Combe. Maybe more someday. So it started scary, but then I wrote about you guys.
I figured with the tolling of the bells.
Dung. He Strings just makes the toll the dead sound.
Anybody but that's ever been on the receiving end of that would be quaking.
Mm.
It started scary, but then what about heroes?
Heroes? You hear, you,
Heroes.
you heard Jalissa say.
Yes, Jalissa.
So
The
you're
tolling of the bells. That would
heroes
be
of
me.
Combe Bay now.
I don't know about that, but the tolling of the bells, that would be me.
Dung.
And yes, it's as ominous as strings makes it sound.
I don't want to be on the receiving end of that then.
No, nobody does.
Yeah,
I
no.
try not to point it at enemies. I try only to point it at enemies, not at friends.
Yeah, no. Not for me. Well, I finished up here. I'm off to do other things. So I suppose
Let
I'll
me
be seeing you around.
let me know when you're ready to drink again. Eh, we won't make it a competition.
Yeah, you'll drink me under the table again. Can't.
But it'll be a fun night.
Maybe some other time.
Yes, yes. Well, be well.
You too, Giant King.
Yes, my
And
little dwarfkin.
and she kind of smiles, gets up from her seat after finishing off the last bite, and heads out the door.
As she's walking away, Lagan will just politely and friendly reach out and smack her bottom as she walks away.
She's a stout woman, so it's but she is strong. So
I'm expecting to be punched for this,
oh
so
yeah, oh yeah. She whips around and punches you in your big chin. You watch yourself.
you too. Be safe out there.
You too,
I'm confused.
big lug.
Why are you confused, Strings?
I thought you two liked each other, but she hit you.
I hit her first.
Yeah, and you guys shouldn't hit each other if you like each other.
How old are you, Strings?
I'm 23.
Okay, you should be old enough to know some of these things, but maybe you've not had enough experience. It's in a friendly manner. We're not trying to harm each other.
Hmm. Giant kin flirting is weird.
Dwarfkin flirting is weird too.
Dwarfkin as well. Got it.
Well, if breakfast is done, are you staying here or will you come with me to the temple?
I can go with. I
Alright,
have
well.
more to write.
Alright, well, see you later.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye bye, Mama.
Be safe.
We'll be safe.
All right. So, the two of you together walk down the street, not too far, to toward the sort of kind of mundane looking, very ordinary looking temple to the Soul Forger. The Forger's crest kind of at the top of the archway when it comes to the doors. They they are fairly simple, uh, uh, very simple wooden doors that that kind of have um, the image of a very plain image of the blacksmith on the front of them on both sides, kind of facing each other for each door because it's a double door sort of entryway. And oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if they were open or if they were closed.
The doors are closed at the moment.
Lagan would knock on the doors.
Okay. You wait for a moment and uh, you see that it's Father Masterson that comes to the door.
When he answers the door, Lagan would give him a slight bow.
Oh, good morning.
Morning. May we come in?
Yes, your companions have already started to wake, and uh, as breakfast has been served, and well, I suppose you all will be heading out to do as you please from here.
I believe so. I think we have tasks that we can at least get started on.
Fair enough. Please come in. And he kind of opens the door wide. His sort of tall, uh, uh, tall sort of furball form, kind of having him hunch a little bit to look out the door.
GM, question.
Mm-hmm.
Did Lagun talk to Father Masterson about the things of Dradith that they had come across? Or am I misremembering that?
I don't recall about that specifically. It might have been mentioned briefly, but I don't think
Okay.
uh, he made
I
any
think the
real
most
commentary about it.
I think the most you asked about in detail was the undead situation.
Yeah, since that was the
Well,
most recent occurrence.
Yeah.
as they're walking, and I'm sure this is in a very large room,
Mm-hmm.
then Lagan will begin asking Father Masterson if he believes that there's any potential that these could be tied to the things that they've experienced with Dradith, in as much detail as he can, explaining everything that they've gone through from the start
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at the Sea Meat Canal to what they experienced in the mines.
Well, the legends say that the creature Dradith was causing chaos through the entirety of the world, and that as a way to contain the beast, the Wild Mother imprisoned him, and that there are a number of seals that keep him locked in his prison. But how many or where they are, nobody knows. It's lost to time.
Well, we know of two, and if the last one was any indication, there may be others that have weakened as well.
Well,
If you hear of any of these talking stones, please let us know.
I will. That's unsettling. That a
And
that a creature of such magnitude as as the legend goes, that would be devastating.
Lagan would actually also describe the glowing stones that are even broken, so heavy that while he may be able to budge them, he cannot lift them.
Question.
Yes.
As Strings has studied, or at least on his own, has studied some stories and poems.
Hmm.
Could he recall any information using Kenku Recall?
Okay. Does that Kenku Recall give you some kind of mechanical
Um,
advantage?
when you make an ability check using any skill which I have proficiency, you can give yourself advantage on the check before rolling the d20.
Okay. So yeah,
Uh,
that
so
would
this is the history at advantage.
history at advantage, and that ability you can use what once per day.
Once per long rest.
Long rest. Okay.
Oh, actually, it's a up to my proficiency bonus per day.
Oh, okay. With your proficiency bonus being 2 as of right now.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Cool beans.
Ooh. 12.
12. Yeah, the conversation going back and forth, it kind of reminds you a little bit of a legend you'd heard, but a lot of it's the same kind of, fairy tale like language that the father seems to be recalling as well. Nothing particularly different, aside from you start possibly like reciting the story, and and the father just kind of recites it with you.
Yeah, so halfway through this conversation, Strange just starts talking. Uh, um, probably using, uh, probably using the same voice that Masterson has. Probably just using his voice, reciting just like a story.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Kind of
But
copycatting him a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, like not on purpose. Like his words are like word for word out of a storybook, but there's nothing specific to it.
Mm-mm.
That's all I know.
That's all about anybody knows.
You don't know where we might be able to find some more research on the Stratus.
Research.
There's the college.
Well, the college might have research on a lot of different stories that have gone on, oratory tales, tales written in books from all cultures, but a lot of the college here kind of concentrates on, the histories and the stories of of the country of Argyll, and so it's
That's Ridgetown.
and if you're looking for something a little broader to encompass more about Dradith, that starts delving into myth, and well,
Father, they say myth. In every myth, there's at least a kernel of truth.
perhaps, but you're not going to find those sort of myths sort of written down word for word verbatim. Lots of that was lost.
Lots of knowledge is lost over time. Sadly.
Well, when part of your history comes from where the cradle of earth, the cradle of life is said to have happened, and a goddess of some particular note previously may have been the one kind of allowing for the misremembrance or causing apathy towards history.
Yeah.
Lots of records, if any records were made at all, were lost over time.
I thank you.
Of course, if I can be of any help, then I would definitely like to be.
I will let you know. If you need any help with healing potions or holy water, let us know.
You have an alchemist or a brewer amongst you.
We do.
Well, that is certainly very good to know. Who amongst you can brew potions and the like?
Little man can do it.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're there. Everyone's there.
Yes.
Yeah, I can. I know how to brew healing and anti-poison potions.
Ah,
The problem is getting my hands on the materials for them.
yes. And, well, since we're on the edge of a desert and a rather flat and well, herb-less region of the savannah, it's a little difficult coming across those sorts of things. Lots of that is imported.
I believe our metal man friend Rune here can as well.
Yes, but of course, Kinwin has shown much more of an interest than I have in the brewing of potions. I would rather an expert take advantage of their own skills, Rune says.
That's good, but your participation could help some as well.
I am here to aid. I am, if that is what you wish, he says.
Help is always appreciated.
Then if my skills could be of any use to you, then yes, I will be of assistance. However, searching for said herbs is a little less my forte. I leave that to the experts.
That would be more mine or Kinwin's. Maybe even Vanya.
Indeed.
Vanya's sitting there, like, semi-distracted, just playing with the necklace.
As we're all gathered together, Lagan is going to cast aid for Kinwin, Vanya, and Strings.
Mm-hmm. All right. That means temporary HP for all of you?
Yes.
Or maximum HP?
Max, and for 8 hours.
Maximum HP increase. All right.
Give me just a second. What happened to all of my spells? Oh, there. Alright, so everybody will be getting 5 to their hit point maximum and current hit points.
Mm-hmm.
And for that 8 hours, you can be healed up that additional 5.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, your hit point max is upped by 5 today. And Darius is around. He's just rather quiet right now.
Yes. So, what are we planning for today?
Well, we were kind of waiting on you, big guy.
I'm here now.
Well, we've got a couple options. We can go out and get those sandog hides for Karthus, or we can stick around investigating more of the undead.
Perhaps, Rune says, kind of talking first. Perhaps Darius and I can actually start in on that investigation while the rest of you do the other job. This way we could
Yes.
be working on both at the same time.
Good point.
Yes.
So if you would like to go out on that adventure, you're certainly would be free to do so.
Ah, that would be beneficial.
I may be a bit of a strong fighter, but I am more of an intellectual.
Well, Darius does know how to be quiet.
Indeed,
Unseen.
and if we need such a thing, then I would rather have his assistance in the moment.
Okay.
You and I both tend to clank around, my friend.
Yeah. Stealthy is not my strong suit.
No, is it mine?
No, it's not really for either of you.
Walking plate mail is noisy at best.
Oh, you're muted.
Shrink just copies the sound of Rune walking normally, so clang, 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 clang.
And it's a perfect mimicry of Rune walking away.
All right. So, where do we need to go to find these sand dogs?
Well, I'd like to get some rations.
Did
I don't have
did
one.
Karthus tell her where to go necessarily?
Oh, you both were talking at the same time. What were you saying, Kinwin?
I'd like to pick up some rations first. I don't have any.
Oh, you're out of rations. Oh, okay. That's going to be the price of rations in the PHB, so you can spend money as needed. But Karthus just told you that they're outside of the city in the desert, probably about a day away.
Okay. And that is what she will tell
The most
John.
recent sightings were like about half a day away. Yeah, so
Was there any specific number of hides or?
Didn't mention a specific number, just that the bag can hold about 5 or 6 of them.
Okay. Do we still get to keep the bag if we complete this?
he did not say.
You might want to take that up with him.
He did tell you where he's kind of headquartering his guild, though. Which is a little...
Has Lagan met Karthus?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You did, like, right before the jumping contest.
Yes. Well, perhaps we should venture there first. Get a bit more information on these things. Be a bit more prepared.
Alright. Sounds good. I mean, I do know where the guild is, so...
Alright. So you're heading over to the guild office for your friend Karthus.
Yep.
Alright. So you four make your way in that direction, and it's not terribly far away. It's a little bit outside of the slums and in more of the sort of middle district where things start to get a little bit more a little fancier on the exterior of the homes, the exterior of the businesses, and you see that that one such place is a guild. It doesn't have a sign. It just has the usual sort of marking stamp of a guild, and this is the place, Vanya, where Karthus said that he and his companions, uh, kind of uh, kind of run their organization. Um, it's an open door, and so you do see that that Karthus is sitting at a desk across the way. That there may be rooms beyond this entryway, uh, but uh, um, but he greets you just as Julissa was leaving out the door once more,
Lagan would give her a wink.
and she'll give you a wink and a grin.
Lagan probably lost in thought over the events of last night.
Mm-hmm.
Vanya's just kind of shaking her head at them too.
Good morning, Karthus. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing just fine. How about the lot of you? Did you rest well?
Just peachy.
Oh yes. Mind you, as a note, she does have that owlbear tooth necklace on the outside of her shirt now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of hidden away, but she's been playing with it like almost all morning.
I see you still have that.
Would I get rid of it?
Well, I don't know. Loss of sentimental value? I don't know.
Please. More sentimental value to this than you remember, old man.
I'm not that much older than you.
Oh, out of the two of us, I'm the oldest.
I'm the oldest appearing out of the two of us, I guess.
Yes.
I'm the one who's actually aged. You haven't, really.
So you like them younger, do you, Vanya?
She's gonna reach out and smack. Right on his arm.
Strings is going to point at them. It's like flirting.
No.
No.
So elf hit not flirting. Giant dwarf hit is flirting.
It depends on the situation.
I'm confused. Elf,
That is life.
elf
Yes.
not flirting. Okay.
Are you making notes of this, Strings?
Yes.
Maybe. Yes.
Apparently, there's.
He is actively holding his book in glove.
Lagan will lean down to Vanya and say, apparently there's quite a bit of education that Strings is lacking.
But leave it to the flightless birds of this city to be the most curious.
Sure enough.
Sign of great intelligence. Anyways, so, the reason we come here today, can you tell us more about these sand dogs?
Yes, they're called sand dogs in Aslandia, and, well, I'm from Aslandia, originally, but others call them bullets. They're sort of large, sort of carapaced creatures that kind of dig around and root around in the sand and burrow and to catch smaller prey. You know, smaller lizards, reptiles, things that are other desert creatures. They're carnivores.
Right. Do they tend to have any particular weaknesses that you're aware of?
Weaknesses? I'll have to think. Let me actually look. He actually pulls out like a book
Mm-hmm.
to look at that. Oh, if I could actually spell it correctly. Compendium. Oh, here it is. Pulling it out here. Let's see. It's not particularly resistant or weak to anything. It's, but it does burrow quite a lot. It's even so far as, how on the sea you'll have, the sea creatures that kind of jump out of the water and back into it. And they sort of do such a thing in the sand. It's almost as if they swim almost through the sand. They're a pretty big nuisance back in Icelandia, and they're a, sort of an invasive species here. So, in many respects, they sort of make the routes through the desert for trade routes and that would normally equate for safe travel much more dangerous these days.
Yes, I
Can
imagine
imagine.
so. And whereabouts are these sand dogs the worst around combat?
If you head out, directly out the gates, for about half a day from here, there's a sort of byway camp where many people sort of have set up long lasting sort of furniture that would uh, kind of make for camping out in the desert a little bit more easy. It's even got a small shelter for sandstorms, but out that
Which
way,
gate?
uh,
Which?
the desert gate.
I see. Oh, one more question. This fabulous little bag you've
Mhm.
loaned to Vanya. Do we get to keep that, or is that
I'm gonna want that back.
mm,
At that point, Vanya's just kind of got her hand up to her face, like, I can't believe you just asked him that. Leave it to Lagan.
there is a reason Lagan asked.
Yeah.
Lagan did put items in there. That's why
Yeah.
he wants
Yeah.
to know.
Mm-hmm. You could use it for whatever storage you like. It's
Yeah.
not that's not a problem for me. Just don't break it. Um, but
Never.
otherwise, I'm going to want that back. It's really the only way to keep things cool in such hot weather.
Yes, I just curious. I had to ask. Uh, do you know where we might be able to procure one?
The stores here don't carry a lot of them. They don't circulate very much, and when they do, they go quickly. And well, you can get it without the cold feature, but you'd probably have to special order it from Paragon themselves.
Very and Lagan says that rather grumpily.
Do you not like Paragon's goods?
It's not their goods he has an issue with. It's.
Is their owner
Emperor Lythel.
I thought this was the La Vista,
No,
or am I confusing them?
you're confusing them because
Yeah,
Paragon is
Okay.
owned by Emperor Lythel of the
Okay.
Griorn Empire, and
Ah,
Madame La Vista is the owner of Phoenix Wonder Prizes.
okay.
Okay, yeah, I got
Then
them confused too.
yeah. Uh, I apologize. No, I have no issues with Paragon. It's Phoenix Wonder Prizes.
Aha. They also make very decent goods.
They do,
It's
but
not.
Miss La
It,
Vista is a bit of a stick up her ass.
Well, most Griorans are. And he looks over to you, Vanya.
she just got this sweetly innocent smile on her face. We had
Most
the pleasure of
Griorans have a
traveling with
stick up
one of
their
her
ass, of
kids.
course. Oh.
Let's just say there's
That was
no.
flirting.
Lagan would just say there's no love lost between Miss La Vista and myself.
Her daughter is fantastic. Her just not so much.
Beautiful daughter, yes.
And again, that just might be because I'm from out in the sticks, as one could say.
Uh, I thank you for your information. I guess we should get on our way since this does seem to be a bit of a trek.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike, so you're and through sand dunes no less. So
Yeah, if we're gonna get back before nightfall, I guess we should be going now.
there is a sort of traveled path, but where the sand's a little bit more compact, but traveling off of the beaten path, you're gonna run into very soft sand dunes.
Just like
Potentially
to
more
quickly
likely.
buy a dagger before we leave.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. They are tough.
So Lagan would ask, if we do get off the beaten path, are we more likely to run into these things,
You're more
is it
likely to
more
get swallowed up by the sand.
or is it more specifically just the location that he had mentioned?
It's if you go off of the path, you're likely to get ambushed. At least with some sort of cover or some sort of base of operations. You could at least be able to regroup if you need to.
All right. And I appreciate all your information, sir.
And you'll likely run into merchants between here and there, so that are also traveling. So safe travels.
Thank you.
We'll be back soon, Karthus.
You better.
I'll keep an eye on her.
You better.
I think we need to keep an eye on this one. Motion, and she's gonna motion over to strings more than me.
Yes. Yes.
Strings
Sadly, your little friend doesn't have the advantage of flight.
Never been to the desert?
And you did teach me how to walk on sand a little bit better.
Do we perhaps need to find our wee little Kinku friend some armor before we head out as well?
Might be a good idea, actually.
They have
As
armor.
you're saying, do you?
I technically started with leather armor. Yeah, yes.
Oh,
as a hand-me-down.
Lagan will reach over into the outside pouch where he stuffed the bag of coins and remove them from the
Mm-hmm.
bag of haversack.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if we're going to be buying any supplies, I guess we should go. I'm assuming we all need a few more rations. We don't know how long we'll be.
Just so long as you come back safe, Karthus says.
Well, we will. If the big guy here has anything to say about it.
They're mostly solitary, but be careful of packs. They occasionally pack up when it's breeding season.
Send dogs in packs.
Briefly.
How big are how big are these packs?
A few individuals, usually several males, kind of circling around a single female.
Are males? Is there any difference in the price between males and females? Or
Not particularly.
okay, just curious. Sometimes one is more rare than the other.
No. They just... And thankfully it isn't the right season, so... The likelihood that you're going to run into that is slim.
I do
Lord
appreciate.
knows we don't need to come across a pack of them.
Especially if they have babies.
How big are the?
No.
How big are the babies?
About average person size, maybe a little fatter.
Interesting. Lagan has ideas. If we find babies. Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Lagan will also remove his spear from the haversack as well. Just in case. Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
So, you're all heading out into the desert?
Yep.
Alright.
Kinwin wanted to buy some things before we left.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that too.
Lagan specifically took out the coin, the community coin,
Right.
so that we could get more rations for everyone.
Yep.
As well.
Rations and water.
Yes.
Because you're going to be moving away from the lake, so the availability
Yeah.
of fresh water is going to be kind of important.
Yes.
You're going to want several days worth, at least, possibly, of water.
I'm assuming Lagan will be the pack mule.
Or you could always put the water in the bag of colding.
Will it freeze in there?
It's not that cold. It's like refrigerator temperature.
Okay. We can keep rations in there as well.
Mm-hmm. Fresh food, even.
Yep. Yeah, otherwise Lagan is the pack mule, so... Alright.
You could even buy some fresh food and keep it in there if you wanted.
Oh, interesting.
That's a good idea.
Because then you can just cook it up.
Yes.
And don't have to, suffer through the tastelessness of, good berries, or have to deal with the very hard to eat rations.
Yeah.
I will still say that fresh food is at the cost of rations per day.
Okay.
It's just you'll have to cook it at the end of the day to be able to prepare meals.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll probably buy some rations, but a bit more fresh food,
Hmm.
just so that we have something.
Yeah.
Something refrigerated. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
Um.
this is a great place to take a quick break because I need to set up for a desert. So, we will be back, everyone, briefly, and see what happens when the Lucky Sevens, the 4 members we have here today, what happens when they run into possible sand dogs. So, be back soon, everyone. The Lucky Sevens, or at least 4 members of them, have decided to make their way to the desert gate of Combe and out into the Palwell Barrens. The landscape in front of you is dusty, windy, and hot. And the sort of rust colored sand kind of kicks up a little bit as you're walking along the trodden path from the city out into the desert as a whole. It's a beautiful sight to see because there are landscapes of dunes, uh, of weathered rocks that sort of have this sort of layered striations to them. The the color is brilliant in the afternoon sun as you're walking, and it does tend to get rather dry out here. And so you find yourself probably sipping at your water skins a little more frequently than usual. The city of Combe being on the edge of such a thing and suffering some of the heat, but not so much the sort of gusts of sandy wind. You're starting to feel it a little bit. The the trek goes for some time, and as you're walking, you do see other traveling carts and and things kind of uh, being pulled by camels that the use of anything less than slick sled treads makes for getting stuck in the ruts. And so often these animals are packed to the brim with the rider sitting atop all of their gear. But you do occasionally see a traveling cart, and it's often pulled by more of the same. And but they're few and far between as as you get out of the city. There are more going toward the city than there are going away at the moment. So, as you travel, is there anything else that you would like to do before you reach your destination? Okay.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And so you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So I haven't left town before. This is all new to me.
Ah,
You're with us. You'll be okay.
don't make any notes until we're done.
But
Exactly.
how am I supposed to? I need to make notes. For
Make your no-
bombs.
I understand, but in the heat of battle is not the time to be taking notes. Mental notes,
Are
yes. Actual
are,
notes,
are we in heat
wait.
of battle?
No, I'm just saying, if we get into a battle.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. I have good memory. I will take notes later with memory.
Yes.
Exactly.
But we are just in heat of desert, not heat of battle.
uh, Lagon looks miserable and very grumpy.
No, you are a man from the snow caps of Ionia who enjoyed the cool air of the sea, but a dry desert, it's murder on your skin right now.
If only there were a decent breeze.
And what breeze that does come through is stale and hot and dust ridden. Desert plants of all kinds kind of line your way. Scrub brush of various, looking in various disarray, where there are, you know, there are cactus, both short and tall. There are there are little shrubs and tumbleweeds that you see, all of them dry and parched. It's a rather nice looking desert landscape, but it is a desert. It's very beautiful. Kind of it kind of but it's very sandy, where other deserts are very rocky. This is You can understand why the winds have blown away the sands, possibly from the ziggurat deeper into the desert. As over time, you imagine that all of that dust would get carried away by the wind and create the dunes that are surrounding you now. They reach pretty tall heights. This path kind of takes advantage of some of the shade that might be produced by the dunes later in the evening. And so you do find a little bit of respite in some of the shade as you get into the evening. But as you're reaching your destination, you realize that it is becoming increasingly colder. As there is not a cloud in the sky. But you reach your destination at the end of the evening.
Yeah. I guess we should prepare for camp, and Lagon would take first watch when it gets to that.
Okay.
Yeah, Vanya would set up a small fire.
The wind does make it a little tricky to start your fire, but thankfully you're in a place that has some amenities to try and help block that. There's a sort of rocky, sort of sand pit or rocky pit that's been created for fires, with you know uh, with stones kind of surrounding it, both in to keep the fire from catching any of the dry vegetation that might be around you, as well as stones that are big enough to make seats for you to sit at for or to set things on for cooking your meals. And so it's and you do see that there are some sort of there's sort of rock slabs that have been brought out as well that to pitch tents on, that that would make for creating a very sort of solid and not sandy surface for you to kind of dust off and be able to sleep in comfortably. Um, and a small sort of shelter building as well that in the area that should a storm be passing through, that you could take shelter from it. Because tents will not save you from a sandstorm.
You'll all notice as it begins to get cooler, Lagon's temperament changes. He no longer looks extremely miserable. He's actually much more comfortable and more his usual self.
Don't like the heat much, do you?
Nay. Give me the cold anytime. Much more.
Miss the coolness of the forest when out in the desert like this. But been out in the Whispering Dunes a few times back home, and get used to walking on the sand and all that.
Some of the rolling dunes kind of reminds me of being out at sea, but it's much harder to walk in this than I'm used to.
And occasionally you do see desert life, like lizards kind of scurrying past. Alright, so you're setting up camp?
Yes.
Yep.
Lagon would find the largest stone he can to just lay his bedroll out, so that he's not laying in the sand.
Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of places in this little campsite that have been kind of created to do just as that, which is, that kind of collectively put several slab stones on the ground to be able to facilitate that. You just need to dust them off because the wind does blow dust into the area, but nothing a little sweeping off couldn't help.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, the fire is set, and the tents are set up for you all, so that you could rest as you see watch. Lagon, you're taking first watch. Roll me a perception check.
Alrighty.
It is very dark, but it's very dark in the night, but also the stars and the moon seem to shine very brightly out here as well. And almost as if the moonlight sort of reflects off of the sand as well.
Okay. 23.
You kind of peer out into the sort of flat area that you're sort of in, at this sort of top of a this campsite's kind of set on top of a rather stable dune, kind of got a rocky center to it. It's and so you're kind of perched on top of this here, and you're kind of looking out into the vastness of the desert. And the you do see creatures that do pass by below, but nothing seems to come close enough to bother any of you.
Okay.
And who's taking second watch?
I believe that would be Vanya.
Okay. As Vanya has gotten her full rest as of now, because a 4-hour rest is all she needs. So, Vanya, also make me a perception check.
22.
You see much the same as Lagon did. You look out into the desert. You are you see that the full moon is bright in the sky. You see that there are desert creatures going here and there. You see you see a lizard go scurrying across down below. Kind of a larger lizard, it seems. But he ends up getting snatched up by another creature. But it's far enough away that it's not bothering you now.
I'm gonna worry about it if it's not close enough.
And this creature that you see that kind of snatches up this lizard is kind of almost a dog-like shape. It's it looks pretty small in comparison to like it looks pretty small from this distance, but you imagine that it looks a lot bigger up close.
Given the description they've been given about the sand dog, she will make note of what direction that is, so they can maybe head out that way when morning comes.
Another 8 hours goes by so that Lagon can get his full rest. The rest of you do wake, and you can prepare breakfast as you see fit. The fire having to be relit a couple of times as the fuel would go out, but you did pack enough fuel to go with you on this journey.
And Vanya would mention what she had seen last night to Lagon, maybe pointing off in the direction she'd seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Be worth checking out.
Yes.
And that direction would be about a couple 100 feet away from here.
Lagon will recast aid on the three of you. After we
Strings stands up and just shakes all the sand out of his feathers.
Mm-hmm. You're tempted to preen some of them a little bit.
He probably does. Just
Some of them get kind of stuck together a little bit. You have to pull them apart with your preening. Kind of get yourself all cooled off because you know that when your feathers pack together, you get really hot. But what do you do?
I don't like sand. It's boring. And dusty.
Of course, it's rough and it's guts everywhere.
That's a good one. Let me write that down.
It's a bit abrasive.
The sand's alright during the day, but I like it better at night when you can just see the stars in the open sky.
What direction was it that Vanya indicated that she had seen what we're potentially looking for?
Kind of below, past the path, and
Okay.
from your perch rear top, and kind of about 200 to 300 feet away is where she saw this happen.
Okay.
So Lagon was casting aid, right? How much of a bump was that?
It's 5 to your current and hit point max.
Okay. I just want to make sure it was still 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep, at base level it's 5. I don't think it changes based on level, but I'm not sure about that. but
It goes up by 5 if
for
I
each
cast
level.
it at higher levels.
Mm-hmm. For each level, higher than 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a second level spell, so it has to
Mm.
be third or higher.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. You are prepared. And now that it's morning, Vanya, what you see out in that direction now is there's a few kind of odds and ends that seem to be butted up against a sort of a taller dune again. It kind of looks like it's a little bit of a kind of like some things are in a recess in the sand. Kind of goes a little downhill uh, f- uh, from the path, and kind of rests with sort of dune walls that are kind of tall but not very. Um, that seem to kind of just hug the outside of this little like indent into the sand. And so it seems like it would be a great place to find shade throughout the whole day. Um, and so, um, and so you kind of start heading off in that direction. So I would like everyone to make perception checks.
30-20.
Mm.
Plus 6, 22.
Oh, dirty 20.
Mm.
I'm probably not seeing much. That is a 7.
Oh, strings.
Oh,
It
strings,
you're
baby.
finding it very hard to pull yourself away from your notebook because you just have this thing that's itching in your brain that you just have to write down on paper, but you're trying to look around like everybody else is, but you're a little distracted
All the
by
sand is boring. I need to create. I need to write.
you need to pour some life
Yeah.
into this damn place. But what the rest of you see, the 20s and above, uh, you see you see little bits and pieces of like bone and and very dried out flesh and things of that sort. You're getting the sense from the amount of debris that you're seeing, even kind of poking out from the sand, that this might be a a sort of a lure and hunting ground almost. That this is just enticing for little things to come out and uh, find some shelter and maybe get ambushed.
Can I identify from the bones any of the specific animals or creatures that these may have been?
You can do a nature check, and you can get assistance from somebody who has nature if you like.
I can assist in that because I'm proficient.
Okay.
Uh, uh, does that make it advantage or?
Yes, your roll would be
Okay,
advantage, Lagan.
okay. I wanted to check before I rolled. Okay. Um. Hmm. I didn't need it, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
26.
Ooh.
Nice.
So you you kind of look over the the bones around you, and with the
Mm-hmm.
assistance of your party, you're able to when you investigate them, they look like they're from about medium-sized creatures, where the average person size.
Mm.
The um the that so this something larger possibly has been luring things into this little alcove in the desert sand and has been feasting upon them.
Are there any of the skulls to potentially identify what it was?
It's kind of scattered bits and pieces. There's not a whole. There's not a
Okay.
whole animal here, and
Okay.
these are bones are picked apart.
Hmm. How big did you say this thing was that you saw, Vanya?
Well, I was seeing it at a distance, remember? So it's gonna be smaller
Right.
at a distance. How big it actually is hard to say.
Because these all look to be between, well, strings and my size.
Yeah.
Hmm. The gun is going to tap on any of the bones that are kind of still buried in the sand to kind of see if he can attract whatever, like tapping on the string of a spider's web.
You were doing what exactly? I'm sorry.
Uh, Lagan's going to see if he can find a bone
Mm.
or bones that are like half buried and is tapping and kind of strumming on the bone, almost as if tapping on the web of a spider
Mm.
to attract it to see if that has any effect.
Okay. I would like all of you to make a perception check one more time.
Okay.
22.
17.
Everyone?
Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Um, 6.
Honey.
This barren landscape, I can't bear to look at it. It's so boring. I need art. I need creativity.
Are you
No.
sure you don't want to borrow one of my die?
What did everybody else get? Poor strings.
17.
It's a different die
22.
too. Let's try that.
11.
All right. Everyone except for strings begins to hear a rumbling. You hear a rumbling coming from your left, and shortly after, you see that a very large and very sort of almost, it's a four-legged beast, but it's got the carapace of like insects, a giant mouth full of sharp teeth, and it is pouncing out and toward you from burrowing within the dirt. And so I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Mm.
16.
Okay, give me 1 second. I will be asking for initiative here in a second. Okay, so Kinwin said he had 16. Where'd my pencil go? No idea where it went. Oh, there it is. So, Vanya, what you got?
16.
Also 16. Who has the higher dex?
My dex is +1 modifier, so that's
+1.
12.
-1 modifier.
-1. Okay, so it'll go Vanya and Kinwin, since you both had 16s.
I had a 15.
16.
What's your dex? Mod?
12. 12. +1.
So it's +1 also. Okay, so it'll go.
Yeah.
Let's do
Vanya can go.
Okay.
Vanya can go first.
Vanya first. Okay, and then Lagan.
Oh my god. Kinwin does not come up
Go
last.
last!
Time.
Nope, it's
Congratulations,
Strings
you.
who comes last. And
With my +5 initiative, I go last.
You poor thing.
This is Strings' first adventure.
oh baby, he's so surprised. All right.
Just baby.
All right. So was there any kind of marching order? So who would have been taking the front?
You said it was
Both
coming.
Well,
both Lagan and Vanya would be at front.
at front. Okay.
Yeah.
With the
Don
others.
was playing with bones, so
Yeah.
So yeah, Lagan would be kind of like in front
Yeah.
of the beast,
Yeah.
yeah.
while the others are kind of trailing behind. Okay. All right, so let me switch that over so that the rest of the audience can see what you guys are seeing. Might help if I didn't actually like fudge the camera a little bit. Okay, and towards the end of this little alcove that you do see some some ruins, like some toppled pillars, and kind of a sand covered piece of something, but that can wait till later. You're kind of funneled into this little alcove here, and you do have one of these beasts in front of you. And so, with that being said, it didn't really get the jump on anybody. You know, Strings being the least perceptive, but not actually in front of the thing. There is no kind of surprise round, so we're gonna start at the top of the round with Vanya.
Alright. Is Lagan within 5 feet of this thing, by any chance?
Lagan is within 5 feet.
He's not too squishy, he can take it. Bonus action, Hail of Thorns, and I'm gonna take a shot with the bow.
Alright, make your attack roll.
$23.
23 will hit.
Now it needs to make a Dex saving throw
Okay.
to dodge the Hail of Thorns.
Is there any way you could have hit Lagan with that as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
why I
'cause
was
you're
asking
within
if
5
you're in
feet.
5 feet. So
Okay.
you make it too.
Alright.
It got a natural
said-
1.
You said Dex saving throw?
Yep, you need to beat a 13.
I think a 20 on the die will do it, but I gotta look at my page.
Yeah, 20 on the die.
21.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you're-
that's
Okay.
gonna hit me too.
Alright, so I'm gonna roll that damage first and then do the other damage.
Yep. Roll
the
the
D10.
Yep. Roll the damage for the attack first, and then the Hail of Thorns damage.
Okay. Attack damage first then.
Yep.
Okay. Let me 8. It's 8 points of damage from the bow, and then yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then 7 points to it, and half that for Lagan.
Okay, so half that goes down to 3 for Lagan.
Okay.
And it makes sort of a loud sort of roar sound. Almost yelping like a lion or maybe even a dog. Are you having Zephyr do anything?
You know what? I will. He's going to run up and bite.
Nom. Roll an attack roll for Zephyr.
Yes. Here that is. I want to make sure I got the numbers right. 13.
13? 13 does not hit.
Okay.
He kind of bites into this hard carapace, but you find that his teeth just kind of leave scrape marks. It doesn't really even pierce it.
Okay.
So he doesn't get through the hard carapace. It looks like. But the sand dog just kind of shakes him off and kind of growls at him, almost kind of as if they're speaking the same language in a way. Lagan, it is your turn.
Okay, so for my first action, I am going to cast Bless.
Bless. All right. Who I?
Concentration. This is going to be, since I don't think, well, actually, I will do this on Vanya, Kenwin, and Strings.
Okay, so not yourself. Okay.
Yeah, this will be a D4 to attack or saving throws.
Yep. And as long as he's concentrating, you are blessed. I will make an indicator for that.
Yeah.
I put an indicator on my initiative that you are concentrating.
Yes.
So that I don't forget to make you do concentration checks. And what are you doing with your bonus action?
Well, I can't really do spiritual weapon at this point because that was a first level spell. Spiritual weapon's second. So
Right. Yep.
uh,
Nothing at the moment.
Nothing at the moment. We'll be taking my hammer out and
Getting ready.
for...
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up is Kenwin.
It would be more like to cast Moonbeam.
Moonbeam. Ooh. All right. So.
It's got a 5 feet area, so like a little bit behind the monster, so it won't be hitting any of my teammates, and they'd have room to attack from the front.
Yep. This creature's about 10 foot across, so you could aim it at its butt. All right, so you've got a moonbeam on it. What is the saving throw on that? Or is that enters the area sort of thing?
It says when a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
Okay, so you cast it. It's the first time it's entering the area. Go ahead and roll for damage. What is the saving throw I need to make?
Constitution.
Constitution. That is a 17. That's a 17. It saves? Okay.
So it takes half of 10 damage, 5 damage.
5 damage.
And this is also a concentration that lasts up to 1 minute.
Okay, so you are concentrating. Okay. Next up, unless you've got a bonus action. Do you have a bonus action, Kenwin, or not?
No, no bonus action.
Next up is Strings.
How many can I get within a 20-foot cube?
How many people?
Oh, it's just the one?
Yeah, it's just the one.
Oh, when you were doing the description, I thought there's two of them.
Nope, just the one so far.
Okay, just the one so far. Hmm.
You don't know me.
Well, I hopefully will soon know. I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire. Um, each object in a 20-foot cube will be outlined in green. Any creature in the area when the spell's cast must make a Dex saving throw.
All right, dexterity saving throw. So I guess you're kind of getting this little clump right here on its butt, so you don't get your friends.
Yeah.
Okay. So it and the 20 feet behind it are in that clump.
Yeah.
Dex save is 14.
That matches.
Okay, so that's a pass. It is not covered in the sparkly ectoplasm that is fairy fire.
Um.
Are you going to concentrate on it, or are you going to drop it?
Were there any items in the sand that got highlighted?
A lot of bones.
I'll keep it for now.
Okay.
I'll hold on to it for now.
Hold on to it for now. Okay. Anything else? Inspiration of any kind?
You know what? I should have done this first. Actually, could I retroactively use unsettling words?
I think I'd let you do that previously before. I think we gotta just move forward now.
Okay. I'll do it now then. So I roll the bardic inspiration die, and this creature must subtract it from the next saving throw it makes.
Okay.
I believe I'm
You're a D6 inspiration.
D6 at the moment, yeah. It has to take 2 off of its next saving throw.
Okay. Next. It's almost like Kinwin or Strings initially just kind of squawked at the thing. Realized he didn't actually say anything. After catching himself, he makes his spell, realizes he said the wrong thing in the wrong order, and then says his unsettling words.
It's just a little bit of grumbling. You probably heard a curse word, but he mumbled it, so you don't know.
All right, it's our friend's turn.
So the start of its turn means it needs to make another Constitution saving throw.
Yep. And that is a 12.
The save is a 12. Who
Yep.
wins, the attacker or defense?
If it meets, it beats, and so I pass.
Of 13, 6.5.
Yep, there'll be 6 points of damage. All right, pencil. Again, it screeches out in this sort of pain, and in that case, it is going to run backwards for a moment, which means that Lagon can get an attack of opportunity if he would like.
Yes, I would.
Yep.
So. Does a uh, plus 4, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. That'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That will be 10 points of bludgeoning.
10 points of bludgeoning.
Yeah.
All right. Then, what it'll do is kind of do a little bit of a turnaround and make a leap, a deadly leap at you all. And so it is going to sort of land in the center of all of you. And each of those creatures must succeed a let's see, contains one or more. It can use its action to land on its feet in a space that contains one or more other creatures. So it's going to kind of land right here, kind of on all of you. And so, you all can make a strength or dexterity saving throw.
Dex.
So they both sucked equally for me.
Yeah, they're both equal for me too, so doesn't matter.
18.
17.
21.
Okay. So, strength
Yeah, strength.
or
Lagon.
strings. What was your roll?
Oh.
What was adding to this?
Strength or dexterity, your choice.
I've been rolling bad today. Um, 13.
Okay. You would have needed a 16, so you are knocked prone, and you take. Ooh, I don't know that I want to do that. Let's do this. 7 plus. That's 11 points of slashing damage. And then on successful save, take half. So the rest of you take 6 and are not knocked prone. But are kind of pushed into the surrounding space around you all. So it came down and kind of death from above, like scratched at all of you, and kind of landed in the midst of all of you. All right, but none of you, except for Strings, is knocked prone. So Strings is prone, which does bring us to the top of the round once more. Vanya.
Alright, she is going to use Hunter's Mark
Mm-hmm.
on this thing. And... no, she's going to take a swing with this short sword.
All right, go ahead for attack roll.
16.
16 does not hit. Kind of chinks off of that really hard carapace armor.
Yep. Okay. And that would be it. Oh, wait.
Bonus action?
Zephyr's going to move in. Bonus action was Hunter's Mark, but Zephyr
right.
is going to move in for another bite.
Yep, Zephyr did not get affected by that. Yep. All right, attack roll for Zephyr.
Boy, Zephyr for staying out of the way. 25.
25 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Ooh. Also strength saving throw.
Strength save. Is that for large creatures and above, or is that...
It just says that the target is a creature, it must succeed on a DC 11 strength saving throw.
Okay.
Or be knocked prone.
That will be a 12. Barely.
Barely.
Barely passes.
Alright. So damage. 7 points.
Oh wait, did you subtract the?
Oh, -2. Yeah, that would be a Ted then.
Oh,
Ah,
lock prone.
unsettling words.
Ooh,
It is also knocked prone.
that's 7 points of damage.
7
Good
points
boy.
of damage. Kind of yelps in the fact that you have indeedy heard it. And it is knocked prone. Okay. Well, that brings us to Lagon. Ooh, Lagon, you should have made a concentration saving throw. Same with Kenwin. And strengths. So constitution saving throw for your concentration.
Hey,
you need to mark
the
that,
bombs are still highlighted.
It's a DC 10
you-
plus.
You need to mark that Vanya's concentrating now because Hunter's mark.
Right.
I
19.
rolled 11.
Okay. 19, 11, Lagon.
15.
15. All right, everybody passes on their concentration. Good, good. So it is your turn, Lagon. Go ahead.
All right. So spiritual weapon,
Spiritual weapon.
and gonna smack this thing.
Smack, smack.
Okay. That's 21.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
Right. That's another 10 points of damage.
Damage. Woo.
Make sure. I think it's a D8 plus 2. Sure. And then, yeah. Oh, sorry. That's 12 points of damage because that's a plus 4.
Oh, because it's plus spellcasting modifier?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was the same as my Warhammer plus 2, but no, it's plus my spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
And then I'm going to need, I believe it's a wisdom save.
Oh, your spiritual weapon would have been at advantage as well. So if you want to crit seek.
I'll try. Same thing.
Okay.
And
then saving throw for Toll the Dead.
Yes, sir.
All right. Wisdom saving
Wisdom
throw.
save.
That is a fail. That's a 5.
Alright, so lucky me. That is going to be 12 points of product damage.
Okay. It's looking pretty hurt. It's screeching out in pain. It is not happy. Kenwin.
It says on each of my turns, I can use an action to move the moonbeam up to 60 feet in any direction. So can I move it to where the monster is again within it, but nobody else?
Yes, but it won't take damage on that turn. It's only on spell creation that it'll take damage on the first turn. It takes damage on the turn it enters it, or starts its turn in it after that.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Alright, so we're moving our little moonbeam up to right here on his head. And what you doing after that? Nothing else? Alright. Strings. You are prone, my friend.
Yep. Is and he's still prone, right?
Yep, he's prone next to you.
I will use 15 feet of movement to stand up.
Boink.
Feather off some sand. Uh, and quickly back up 10 feet.
Okay. He is going to try and take a swipe at you.
Even though he's prone?
Yeah, he can still do so. It's just at a disadvantage.
Yeah, that's fine. He can swipe.
Y'all don't forget to add the D4 to your attacks and saving throws.
That's going to be a 16 to hit.
I'll hit.
That'll hit. Okay. And that is going to be... Why is it that? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. That'll be 16 points of slashing damage.
I am hurt. I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery on it.
All right. And that's her action.
And that's
Okay.
why no one loves you.
Vicious Mockery. That is a wisdom saving throw. That is 6.
Yay.
Roll damage.
That is D4. Let me get a D4.
Also, make a Constitution saving throw for concentration.
So 2 psychic damage. It has disadvantage on next attack roll it makes.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Does concentration add your Constitution modifier or no?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so it's 11.
11. Did I hit you for... Was it 16? Yeah, it would have been DC 10. You're good.
Yep.
Alright. Which brings us to our big burly friend here. He's going to get up. And he's going to make a chomping motion at Zephyr. It is the smallest target.
Oh no.
That's gonna be a 18 to hit.
At
Yeah, that'll
disadvantage?
hit.
At disadvantage. My bad.
Oh, disadvantage. Okay.
That's a natural 20 on the second dice.
It'll hit either way.
Okay, so we're gonna
Wasn't meant to be.
Suffer.
He's just slashing. 9. That'll be 12 points of slashing damage.
Jesus. Yeah, that. Ooh. Zephyr's squishier than Vanya. Oh.
He just kind of swipes and bites and really digs his teeth in to your pupper friend, who squeals also in a similar fashion in a lot of pain. And that brings us back to the top of the round. Vanya.
Right, so she's gonna move Zephyr first and have him get out of the way. Move him back behind the group.
Back behind the group, okay. Which does mean that our friend gets an attack of opportunity.
Unless he's disengaging.
Zephyr's disengaging, more or less.
He's not going to do anything else. He's disengaging. Can he Oh, I guess he can disengage. So, is he disengaging and not doing anything else? Okay.
He's not,
Okay. Then no attack of opportunity.
Okay, however, I'm going to take a swing with the short sword again.
Okay.
Da-da. 22.
22 will hit.
Sweet. And with Hunter's Mark still up, that's an extra d6. I forgot that d4 for Bless. Oh well. Need it. Oh, that's d6 either way. Okay.
Hmm.
10 points total. Actually, 11 points total.
Hmm. Looking mighty hurt. Mighty hurt.
And then bonus action swinging with the dagger.
All right. Schnick.
At your
17.
D4.
Is it 2d4 or was it 1d4?
1.
Or
It's 1D4.
1d4 to your attack roll for Bless.
Yeah.
that takes it up to 21.
All right. 21 will hit.
And bonus action, it's Hunter's Mark wouldn't go with the bonus action for the dagger, would it?
Nope.
Just be base damage. Okay, I just
Just-
want to double check.
Yep. Only works
4
on one
points
attack
damage.
roll. 4 points. Okay.
We got Moonbeam that damage last round. Unless
Oh.
a minute has passed.
Right. Nope. That's that was a Constitution save on my part. My bad. Because he's still in that space. That is an 18. Roll damage and we'll half it.
Half of 11, 5.
All right. Oof. It is looking rough. All right. That is the end of Vanya's turn. It's Lagon's turn next.
Spiritual weapon and told the dead. Again, so wisdom save for it.
Toll the dead first. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 4. That is going to fail.
And that will be 10 points of necrotic damage.
And it is dead. It starts to suffer from necrosis in sort of the gaps between the different plates on its carapace. It's kind of oozing some blood and pus and just all sorts of nasties.
Yes.
And Lagan is going to be looking to see if this has attracted the attention of any of the others that potentially might be around.
So far, nothing.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a seat. Just don't mind me. I'm just.
Lagan is going to cast with Zephyr and everybody. Let's see. Give me just a second. I believe it's prayer.
Prayer of healing.
Yeah,
Yep, it's a 10-minute cast. You do have to have it prepared.
I do.
Okay.
So everybody within 30 feet will get. Let's see. That is.
A lot better heal than I have.
Let's see. 20 points of HP back.
All right. Everybody who needs it gets 20 points.
Definitely did.
Yep. That takes Zephyr right back up to normal. And same as Vanya.
Make a perception check for me, everybody.
Okay.
At 20.
Nat 20 as well.
Woo!
26.
9.
Bleh.
Yeah, that would put me at 25. So.
Strings is just furiously writing in his notebook. I don't like sand dogs. Sand dogs are mean.
Tougher than I thought they were gonna be.
They're not really dog-like,
Well, he did say that's what they call him back where he's from, so.
but they're it's wrong. They're not dog-like.
Although, actually, should I have knowledge of them since they're like literally neighbors of my homeland?
You can do a nature check, yeah.
Dirty 20.
You know them to be a nuisance in the desert a lot. They don't really venture out towards the forests or anything like that, given the sort of rockier nature of forest lands or the tangling of tree roots under the ground. They tend to like uh, they tend to like ground that is sort of loose like sand, and so one of the reasons that they're called sand dogs is because of that, but also called bullets, which is what a lot of people in the country of Argel do call them. So probably the reason it didn't come up with to you, previously is that yeah, he was using the term sand dogs, but that doesn't really describe the look of them. So that's maybe why he got confused a little bit before, um, when he would bring that up. But for at least those 10 minutes that Lagon is able to pass time, you're not accosted by anything.
Anyone would like to kneel next to the corpse, put his hand on his head, and say, "You're gonna play stay out, and your fight is over."
All right. So, if you're intending to do any harvesting for this particular creature, the person doing so may make a uh, maybe I'm going to be a little weird about this. I'm going to call for a survival check
Okay.
just because I want to be a little weird. Because
Weird about
it's
Sword and
not
survival.
necessarily about the anatomy of the creature, it's about more or it would be like a survival or a medicine about butchering the animal.
I will assist if it's a survival. If it's a medicine, I'll take the medicine.
All right. So who's leading the roll?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is it a survival or medicine check?
Survival.
Okay, I'll assist.
Then I got +4, so I guess I roll.
All
I
right.
guess this means I roll with advantage.
Yep, that's correct.
Natural 20 +4.
Ooh. Everything about this goes as perfectly as you could possibly imagine it. This particular creature is fairly young, you think. It's not a full adult. You could see that it's still kind of in the developmental stages in some cases, so probably some older adolescent sort of size. It's um but you're able to remove the hide without losing anything significant. You're able to, if you wanted to because it will take several hours to get this much hide off of a creature,
Uh-huh.
and so um, it'll take additional hours to remove the meat from the bones if you wanted to, but you do have the hide after several hours in the heat.
Well,
I would rather it not go to waste and harvest the meat personally.
yep.
Okay.
I agree.
So you're able to
So,
harvest the meat after another couple of hours. So this is kind of a full day's job, it seems, for just felling one. You're about getting towards the evening now, and nothing still has tried to accost you again.
after we're finished with this, was there any like mandible or something with this animal that
No, it was a mouth with teeth.
okay. Uh Lagan would like to take some of the teeth then.
Okay.
That's
Now
a
that you have
survival.
now that you have the meat released from the bones and have successfully been able to butcher it, you could take the teeth without any issues.
Okay.
Since you were assisting
Le-
anyway, so.
yeah, Lagan would take the teeth. Uh gonna make something get something made out of these.
Hmm. All right. Which leaves really just anything unusable, which is mostly like entrails and innards and things like that left over to rot in the sun if you would like.
Out of be food for other scavengers.
Yeah.
All right. There is the toppled pillars and that sort of little ruin in the corner of all of this that you could always explore.
Lagan would like to check that out.
Oh yeah, so would Vanya.
Okay. Lagon, you are busy most of the day with the
Right.
butchering of the bullet, so um,
Right.
so Strings and Vanya have the availability first if they would like to take it. Otherwise, you all can do so after everything's done.
Oh yeah, Vanya's definitely going to take that.
Okay.
Thanks to join.
All right. So, do either of you understand Celestial?
Nope.
I don't have it as a language, but would I have possibly seen it?
That's a history check.
Yay, I'm gonna use Kenku Recall.
Okay.
Give myself advantage. I need to stop using this die. History. That is 12.
No. No, this is nothing like any language you've ever seen before.
Strings, make note of that so we can share a room when we get back.
I would like to perfectly copy this onto my book then.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am an expert. I have expert duplication.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, if he doesn't want to come back out here, he'd appreciate the notes.
Wait, so where am I now?
You're finishing up with the bullet.
We are stripping this bullet of everything usable.
Okay, and by the time that that Strings has copied down just about anything, because there's very little to copy down really, because a lot of it is sand worn. It's it's on like a lot of it's kind of got sand, erosion damage. It's made of sandstone, but which is still has a lot of that sort of yellow and rustish color to it. But a lot of the wording on these pillars is rubbed off, and and on the bit of ruin that you see, it is kind of wedged into the sort of sand wall. It looks like it's around, like it could have been like the top of a building or something, but also has a lot of wind erosion from from looks like millennia of just wind or being, buried underneath the sand. And so a lot of what's
We
left of these is very worn.
we just come across a ziggurat by any chance.
And you don't see any further ruins. And from what you understand from what Cypher said, that there was an archaeological dig in the area for that as well.
Okay. Just had a double check on that one.
Mm-mm.
Aside from writing, is there any sort of artwork?
You do see a strange symbol. A symbol of a skull with one eye socket and one socket missing.
I shall copy. I shall copy that picture as well.
All right, so you copy that symbol as well, and it's kind of, it's really the only thing that's well preserved on these particular toppled little pillars, and ruin, is that the symbol of that skull is really the only thing that remains.
Maybe to some deity at that point. Which one?
Not one that you're super familiar with, Anya, because a lot of religious even study is forbidden in the Greenhorn Empire.
It has been since I was a kid.
And longer before that still. But you have those notes, and Lagon and Kinwin have finished up they're working on the bullet carcass, and you all are now together with all of that. It looks like Zephyr's taking a little bit of a munch out of some of the leftovers.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He deserves a treat. Guy almost got one-shotted. I'm not kidding. He's only got 16 HP.
Oh, baby.
That's like 12 damage. What?
He must be protected.
Yes. And strings both. You wanting to get another one of these, or what's the plan now?
The time it took for this, other than maybe a little bit of light left over to investigate the ruins, maybe potentially borrow a sheet of paper from Strings to take an etching to see if any of the sandpoint stuff could potentially still yield some of the however
I mean, I can, even if it's partial, I can still copy what I can see.
Yeah.
So
right,
I would,
but but what I was talking about is if you take your paper and hold it up against it, sometimes even when it's sand, you can still make out some of the symbol, if not all of the symbol, after the weathering.
I think Strings would have had that idea, because
Okay.
with the perfect recall, would
Yeah.
know that anything worn down, getting a good rubbing of it too would help that too.
Okay.
So
That
So
was
in the
the
time,
only other thing.
yeah, in the time that you guys were doing the bullet, Strings was copying the wording and then getting some rubbings of some things that are worn down a little too much.
Okay. I would think it's time for us to return to camp and rest. Get some get some food and rest.
About getting another one in the morning then?
Uh,
You want to head back to the city?
Get as
This
many
was
of
not
these.
even an adult. What if we run into multiple adults? It might be safer to wait until our party is whole again.
Well, if we can find another one before we return,
By all
the more
means.
we can take with us, the better. But yeah, I'd say if we run into these, we definitely want to have our full party.
Yeah.
Vanya just kind of clinging to Zephyr right now.
Yep. Checking him over and making sure he knows he's a good boy. Thing does a lot of damage with just one hit.
Yeah. I hurt. It hurt.
Even after healing, you still feel a little bit of bruising.
We all hurt.
All right, so you're heading back to camp,
Yep.
kind of going at over each other's notes together.
Yes.
Lagon, make me a religion check.
Okay. Religion.
Yep.
Let's see. 19.
You can think of a couple deities in the past that may have had a skull in their motif.
Mm-hmm.
One of which, the most well-known one, would have been the fire skull of Ouijas.
Jesus.
The
Would I
most...
know if... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, she was the most widely and most recently worshipped goddess of death.
Right. Would
But
I know if she was ever depicted as just one-eyed?
yes, you would know she was depicted as one-eyed.
Of all the deities that I know, I would be sharing that, and that potentially this seems to be more of a Ouija's, potentially.
Early icon, perhaps?
Yes. I would share what I know of the depictions of Ouija's.
You would know that that often she wasn't really depicted much in a corporeal form. She was often depicted with just the when it comes to iconography, with just the skull symbol. Their statues of her were very plain if they were
Okay.
depicting her at all, but it was always the skull, always one eye, and always with fire.
Okay. I
This
would share
this
that with
skull
everyone.
doesn't have fire.
I would share that with everyone, that is a potential iconography for Ouija's, but it's missing the flames. So there could potentially be someone else associated with this as well.
That mushroom lady did mention the previous out of death. Like, well, it could be him, but that was. Seems like it would have been so long ago.
I'm assuming from what I know of these deities that the one eye seems to speak to Ouija's than it does the others.
Out of all of the deities that you're aware of currently, yes.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Other than the well, maybe that has been born away. This speaks more to Ouija's of what I'm aware of. Any of the others.
Yeah.
And again, potentially, like I said, the flames have been worn potentially missing from this depiction? I don't.
With as many times as it's repeated, you almost get the sense it was on purpose.
Okay.
That this was a purposeful depiction of the skull with one eye.
Okay. Am I aware of how many times this was repeated?
There was 3 or 4 intact symbols.
Okay. It was done with intention.
Mm.
Possibly unearthing a deity. I don't know of whom else it could be.
Again, it could be an earlier symbol than what we're aware of, but
Oh, like I said, what I'm aware of is
yeah,
Ouijas is always with the skull, always one eye,
yeah.
but always with flames. And lacking the flames, this matches no other that I know.
Well, it'll be something to look into at least.
Yes. Perhaps Father Masterson shed some light on this if I am incorrect.
Could be. We could ask him when we get back.
Yeah. Lagan, when they get to it, would again take first watch.
All right.
Before we get to that point, how are you holding up, Ken?
You doing good?
Sorry, that was garbled.
I'm doing good.
What do you make of these bullets, sand dogs, whatever you have?
Seem to be vicious creatures. Apparently valued.
What is your knowledge of these things?
No, not much. I only know them from word of mouth.
So this is your first encounter.
Face to face, yes.
Nasty little buggers, aren't they?
Indeed.
What about you, Strings?
What about me?
Yes. How are you finding your first adventure?
I hurt. All over. There's sand everywhere, too. I don't like.
We'll get used to it in time, unfortunately.
I have ideas, though. Ideas good.
What sort of ideas?
Song.
I can't wait to hear it.
Okay. Does sand count as loose earth?
Yes, for what intentions?
You use mold earth to just get the sand off everyone.
It's usually in like the ground. You're thinking more along the lines of prestidigitation to clean things.
Yeah, okay.
You could use that more to help firm up or with the fire area
Mm-hmm.
than actually removing the sand.
Yeah, it would be easier to use it like a prestidigitate to do that, but we don't have any wizards.
No.
Mm.
Mm.
All right. Well, you make your way back to the camp, kind of going over everything once more, kind of getting everything put together so that you could all take a long rest.
Yes.
So your long rest is had,
Okay.
and you make your way back to the city.
Yes.
All right. And back to the city you go. You make it there by nightfall. And you can go and rest once more and pursue something else, or you can do something else before you go to bed.
Well, if we got back to the city,
Mm-hmm.
would definitely want to see if we could any of the bullet meat that we were harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming from such a large creature, there's a good portion of this that we could potentially sell for
Yeah.
money, as
Mm-hmm.
well as the hides that we were told that if we bring
Yeah.
that back to the
Right.
guild.
Bring the hide back to the guild. You can you can sell the meat to a local meat shop if you would like.
Yeah.
Let's see, because that would be several 100 pounds of meat.
I'm thinking half of the meat
Mm,
we could
Yeah.
sell to and keep the rest for rations and stuff as fresh food if we can keep this bag for a bit longer, and the hide with the monster hunters.
okay. So I'm gonna say that there's about 400 pounds of meat and 100 pounds or 150 pounds worth of hide that you have in the bag now. Um,
Okay.
so
Oh,
you.
that's pretty much taking up all the weight or space of the bag. We may need some more of these bags if we've got more of these things to do.
Yeah, well,
Um,
he didn't say he had to needed all six all at once, but or give you a number that he wanted just to
Yeah.
help out
right,
in that regard.
right.
But you want to keep half the meat for yourself for the so that's 150 in fresh meat.
Yes.
The other bit, let's do a calculator because I'm gonna say this butcher is going to offer you 5 copper per pound. So that's 150 pounds, which comes to 150 copper, which is 50. Well, no, I'm gonna say it's silver. It's silver. 150 silver, which is 15 gold.
Okay.
I'll get that in gold or silver. Joe.
Whichever. Probably a mix.
You could do a mix because money does not weigh anything in this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I'll
because
be right back.
the way that each individual country does it is there's like paper notes. There's also gold
Yeah.
coins. There's a bunch of different ways that you could go about making.
You
the
said it
money.
was 150 silver.
150 silver or 15 gold.
15 gold.
15
I'm
gold
just
worth.
gonna put it all in silver and figure it out later.
Okay.
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 Go from there.
Well, if you put 5 gold, it'll make it 100 silver, 5 gold.
Okay.
And then selling the hide.
Don't what did I tell you guys was the cost that he was 100 gold?
100.
Okay.
100 per.
Yep. So he'll be able to give you the 100, uh, And he asks you, "Are you going on another hunt soon?"
Uh,
Well, we gotta
I,
get the rest of the party together, and then we'll decide from there. It sounds like
I,
we are.
I would like to, but yes, I don't think we should do this with anything bigger or more than these, with just the four of us.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nasty buggers, a bit hard to take down.
Yeah, that hard carapace of theirs.
Not
Zephyr
just
kind
that,
of found out the hard way,
that
baby.
uh, as you so eloquently put it, death from above attacks they do are quite nasty too.
Mm-hmm. No,
It's,
they could take down a lot of prey that way. That's for sure. If they're surrounded by a bunch of something that they're not exactly happy about, then yeah, they'll
Well,
jump. They'll
I dare
jump out of the sand
I,
at you.
I dare say this one wasn't happy with us.
not at all.
The fact that you managed to
And
catch it and it didn't swim away in the sand.
uh, he, I think he was a little young. I think he was possibly not juvenile, but maybe adolescent, teen, not quite full grown. Uh, thought he could take us on better than he could, but
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, because these
It
these claws aren't fully developed either. So.
doesn't help that this guy here hits hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're mean.
uh,
I have been on the receiving end of one of Lagan's attacks. It's not fun.
these
Ouch.
he can do these things can do almost as much damage as I can.
Yeah, they're a nuisance. Like I said, they're an invasive species. Somebody thought it was a brilliant idea to bring them over from Aslandia, I guess.
What were they trying to get rid of that they bring these things?
Something smaller. That's that's been decades, maybe a century ago, maybe more.
It's usually how it goes. Fortunately.
Uh, uh,
Somebody was brilliant.
well, if you don't mind, I'd like to hold on to this until we're done. But I think we'll be staying here in the city for a.
Well, so long as you don't leave the city with it. So.
I'll make sure he won't take it, Karthus.
As much as I would
Promise.
like to have this, I swear I would not take your belongings, sir.
Well, unless you're wanting to pay the 1,000 gold for it.
I'd gladly give it to you if I had it.
Well,
So, 1,000 gold, you say? Okay.
that's on the cheap
Now
side. That's for a small
Well-
bag.
How big do these things get?
Well, they make satchels that work very similarly, but to the big pocket, have the cold
Uh-huh.
kind of function to it. If you want the cold function, that's an extra 500. But just having the space is like the 1,000. And if you get the satchel version, which is one big opening for a bunch of shit,
Yeah.
yeah, that's somewhere around
Yeah.
2,000, 2,500.
Oh,
That cold feature is definitely an
It's nice.
advantage.
it is.
Reminds me of home. Not quite as cold, but gives me a bit of a taste of home.
Oh, you're a mountain man, huh?
Didn't you know? All my kin are.
I haven't run much into your kin.
I haven't either, except out on the seas. A smattering here and there across the, where was it? Along the Sea Meat Canal.
That's
Just a bare handful.
going through the archipelagos are a hot spot for a lot of different kinds of people.
Yeah,
Went through there myself. A long time ago.
yes.
Yeah, that's where they dug me up at.
Dug you up like they pulled you out your grave or something.
I would have been had, those things getting a hold of me, but work well
Nasty,
together.
nasty buggers there too.
Steve buggers all over the place.
What was the first creatures we ran into? Little squid things.
Oh, yeah, they were called man o' wars.
Yeah.
The manowars, and the red ones are particularly nasty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they like to go for the head and the soft squishy bits inside.
Yikes. I don't think that was a very big issue when I went through there, but I didn't stay long, so.
They're beginning to get nastier and a
Yeah.
bit more common. They used to be something you only saw out, but along the archipelago, but that's how we all met.
That's odd.
Sadly, they killed the poor little barmaid of the bar we were trying to all get to. Like I said, the red ones are particularly nasty.
That's unfortunate. Seems like a lot of things are stirring these days.
It
Yeah.
doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't.
But we will be around, and I swear before we leave, we will return your sat. Unless we can find the coin to buy from you.
Well, you'd have to sell your sell the hides to somebody else to get that kind of money.
Uh,
I'm lucky I have enough coin to do it, so.
yes. Well, I thank you. Uh, Lagan will head off back to the temple in the hopes of meeting up with Rune and Darius and Father Masterson.
Vanya,
Is it?
it's good seeing you again.
Seeing you too. She's gonna switch to Infernal really fast. You know where to find me.
I don't always know where to find you. And he pulls out a pair of kind of very small, kind of handheld stones and hands you one. It's got kind of a marking on it of some kind.
She's just gonna
If
study
I
a little bit.
if I have a job that needs a particular set of skills, I'll call you.
Looking forward to it.
And with that, you
We
could
said,
call me specifically if you wanted.
you trying to start something back up, Karthus.
Can you blame a man for trying?
Absolutely not. See.
Yeah, well,
'Cause
don't.
I want to hear the story about how you broke that goddamn horn of yours. And she's just kind of lightly gonna poke it.
Did I? Did I never tell you that one?
No. Last time I saw you, you had both of them.
Oh. Well, I guess it has been a long time. Maybe we'll grab a drink together someday.
Looking forward to that too.
All right. He seems to be a little bit more chipper in this moment, and kind of goes back to his desk uh, to kind of file through some of the other contracts that he's looking at.
She's gonna chuckle and then follow Lagan out.
Kinwin, Strings, what are you doing for this brief moment? Oh, it's
Sorry, I just got back, so I'm not sure what was happening.
Oh yeah, they were returning the bullet hide to Karthus. Everyone was kind of walking into the main room of the guild hall. Everyone just kind of watched a rather awkward conversation in Infernal.
Okay, I want to note that Strings did hear the Infernal, right?
He heard the Infernal. Yep.
Okay, that's
Does
all I
he
need.
does he know Infernal?
He doesn't know Infernal, but he can now copy this
You
sentence.
can now copy the sentence.
So I just need to make a note for myself.
It was both in Vanya's and in Karthus's voice, so you can repeat that whole conversation back to them.
Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of light flirting in there between the two.
Yep. But as you kind of witness this, and yourself and Kinwin are kind of the last ones out because Vanya and Lagan have already kind of made their way out. Is there something else that you all wanted to do, either apart or together?
I think that Strings just wants to head home and tell his mama that the adventure went well.
Mm.
And he totally didn't get injured. He's fine.
Oh,
I am 100%.
Lagan would take 25 pounds of the meat
Mm-hmm.
to Belle before he goes to the temple.
Oh, okay. And she would obviously thank you for it and reach into her pockets for something to pay you.
Lagan was saying no. The keep what you have. The hospitality you have shown us. This is gift.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm assuming we'll be back for a meal before we take our rest at the temple.
Yep.
So
You can do that. So you're all together. Yourself, Darius, Rune, Vanya, Strings, and Kinwin.
try to find out if they were able to Rune and Darius find anything.
They did some talking around the town, and in doing so, let's see how they did. I'm gonna roll for Darius because he's the more charismatic. But they didn't get a whole lot. So they were not very successful in learning a whole lot. But what they did find is they investigated the sites where corpses were coming up from their graves, and finding that a lot of the graveyards had been dug up by city and city officials and civilians to cremate and burn the bodies instead, so that this doesn't happen again in the near future. But especially those that were in pits, they didn't want to dig up anybody of any importance. But those who were sadly, amongst the sick, they dug them back up and had the bodies burned during the day, and so that's what they were able to find during the last little bit. But beyond that, the city folk didn't really want to talk to them all that much. They were able to find like physical evidence and stuff, but nobody was really willing to talk.
So, okay, you didn't get much information. We still need more information.
Yeah, it
Lagan
seems that
would
Rune puts off a really strange air, and Darius wasn't helping matters.
hmm. Lagan would share uh, their encounters with this bullet and his thoughts, and that the next time we face one of these things, we should do so as a general group together and take uh, not all, but at least some of the teeth, and have a small side conversation with in potentially taking and turning these into some kind of weapons, like a gauntlet with the bullet teeth for like knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is that potentially taking, I'm assuming these are like saber tooth cat type length teeth
They're
for the bullets.
they're pretty big. They're not like
Yeah,
big tusks. They're just
right.
kind of long, sort of piercing teeth.
Yeah, and that potentially we can make other weapons as well. There's I'm not sure how many teeth are in these things' head, but
Mm,
Lagan grabbed as many of them as he could and put them in this haversack.
right, right. And so, and in doing so, it kind of handed them kind of in a loose little
Yeah,
sort of handful to Rune.
yeah.
He tells you, "I will see what I can do with them. I am. I'm certain something could be done."
These are very nasty creatures.
Indeed, by the look of these
Uh,
teeth.
from what
Very.
Vanya and Strings shows, they hit almost as hard as I do.
And you are no slouch.
Yes,
That damn thing almost took out Zephyr.
in one hit.
Hit.
Goodness.
We
Well,
were all fairly hurt.
my apologies for not being there to defend you all.
No,
No,
no.
no, it. We needed more information about the undead anyway. It was better we split up at that moment, figure out what we were dealing with on both ends.
Oh, Metal Man, I have things for you.
Hmm?
And
All right.
he pulls out his notes on the Celestial.
Interesting.
Can you read? I mean, can you read this?
Let me see if he can.
I believe he has tongues.
Because I haven't pulled up Rune's character sheet at all today, so
Oh,
I don't know what he's capable of. I was trying to avoid using Rune at all.
Get Ben.
No, I do not know what this particular language says, though. But these symbols are odd.
Looking at them, does Lagan know that they're in Celestial?
That would be a history check to see if you are familiar with the look and speech of other languages.
Okay. Okay. History, you say? Let me see. History. It's 20.
This is. It's not a modern language.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that is spoken or written modernly.
Okay.
So, anyone knowing it outside of scholars might kind of consider it like Latin, in that it's a dead language. So the use of it is extremely rare, and in the use of it is in scholarly circles.
I was
So,
thinking
so
potentially
some
Master Avery might have known.
someone who does come to mind though is the professor,
Yes.
if he were to
Uh,
ever show up again.
Look
What are
on
these
that.
documents you guys are all on a fluff about?
Did
Oh, I found not drawings, words. I found words in ruins and wrote it down.
There's
Okay.
ruins near where we were. We went exploring. We found
While you
writing.
were skinning the cat. I mean skinning the Sanda.
Okay.
and Lagan would also share that he believes that this is potentially an older site to Ouijas as well, from the skull iconography and what he knows of the deities.
It's okay when you're aware of that knowledge now.
I thought
So
Kenwin
I've
was
seen the
interested, but
papers
that's why I
now.
touched it.
Yeah, you can look at everything, everybody's notes. Everybody's kind of shared with each other by this point, what their thoughts are.
Okay, so yeah, this is celestial. I can read this.
Oh, well,
Really?
the bits that you can make out, Kinwin, say words like death, whispers, secrets, will come. And that is repeated because it is kind of in columns along the sides of each of these sides of the pillars.
Not fully intact, but from what I can gather, it seems to repeat. Death whispers, secrets will come. Not entirely sure what that means.
What was it that mushroom lady kept saying when we were there? Sounds a lot like that. When you think of it.
The whispered one.
The whispered one
Yep, that is what
will
she said.
return. Will come back. And returning. The whispered one entreateth to this plane? Something along those lines, I believe.
Something like that. This thing might be older than we thought.
Other than the flames missing, matches the iconography of Ouijas. Would Father Masterson have come to Bell's place?
Yeah, if you want him to be there, you could invite him. Yeah.
Yeah, because Lagan would like to share this information of these ruins with Father Masterson and get his ideas and opinions on that as well.
Upon asking him about the ruins, he is aware of the archaeological dig out near the ziggurat, and that they've been trying to determine what the function of that place was. And in some of the etchings that they have brought back, not a lot of scholars, not a lot of poorer people are scholarly enough to have to have knowledge of the language, but
This is not the ruins there. This is where we fought the bullet, the sandog.
they said it was nearby.
Yes, it's nearby. It's not far from little encampment place that has been set up along the road.
And so,
There are
based
ruins. Yes.
based on based on this iconography, this looks like it might pay homage to Ouija's. But her clerics no longer have any sort of connection to her.
Well, that's what we were thinking too. Maybe earlier iconography than anything that we've seen or are aware of, but
Especially if this writing is in Celestial. It's kind of an ancient language uh, of the earliest of beings.
And
Vanya's just going to kind of clap Kinwin on the shoulder, and we have someone here who was able to read it.
What does it say?
Fortunately.
Whispers, secrets will come.
Doesn't mean anything to me.
Before we came here, we were dealing with another issue not too far away in the, I guess it's a wooded area over that way.
The Twilight
in,
Grove.
Yes.
in the second place, I told you of the stones.
Right, you'd mentioned that.
The giant mushroom lady
Yes.
continued talking of the Whispered One and Dradith and somehow returning them to power or this plane. I'm unsure as to which.
I'm not saying these two things are connected, but it seems to be mentioning similar at least.
The wording
What
is,
I can figure.
phrasing is very similar to what she kept repeating, and that these are constantly repeated on these stones. It's very similar.
The Whispered One. Whispers.
What do you know of him?
Death, secrets. It sort of makes sense. It's ancient tales. That there used to be a god called the Whispered One. But has since fallen into cults. No one would openly praise the Whispered One.
The creatures that we fought, other than the mushroom creatures, were
Are you talking about the gnolls?
gnolls. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're all under a similar spell by this mushroom queen.
A mushroom queen sounds very outlandish to me. As
Lagan will describe the creature and the other
Mushroom queen.
myconid, other mushroom peoples that they were fighting, and that the gnolls that we were engaged in fighting were part of this same group.
sounds maddening. I'm not familiar with any kinds of creatures that such as living, walking, talking mushrooms.
Very odd.
You can ask Darius and oh darn it, River's no longer here. More about what it's like when they get a hold of you.
You lose control of yourself. You got me too at one point. Struck out against a friend.
Like a sort of brainwashing.
Something like that, yeah. Snapped out of it not too long after.
It's
The second I hit Rune, it was on.
it's quicker
Hit in
than
a non-flirty fashion, right?
what?
You hit in a non-flirty fashion, right?
What?
Strings is unfortunately learning quite a bit from us, and no, I don't think, being taken control of and striking a friend will be in a flirting fashion. Strings.
Okay.
Not
I just have to make sure because this is confusing.
no strings. Not flirting. Hurting.
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 Hurting fashion.
Surprised I didn't break a finger on his armor.
He was
strange.
much quicker than I've ever been. Any tales of brainwashing. It was almost instantaneous.
Hmm.
And very disconcerting.
The only thing that I can think of is that in that case, if we're talking about things about the Whispered One, then perhaps you're right in that a cult is infesting our city.
It is, as I said, while the other things are natural, do occur on occasion, the Walking Dead specifically are from necromancy, and they have to have a necromancers in order to do what has been done from what you've said in this city to return them from the graves.
Yes. We have had problems with cultists before, and it's just a matter of rooting them out. Not necessarily necromancy, but different cults of different kinds. There are so many things out there that one can be tempted by.
Power among them all. Greed.
And there are many a creature out there powerful enough to grant power to people.
Yes.
I don't doubt what you say about this fungus woman. I've never seen such a thing myself, but again, I don't leave the city very often.
No, it just gives me pause to think of. We don't know how many of these stones were used to bind Dradith or whomever else, and the only one I know that is isolated is the one in the Seamead Canal. However, the last one we found, how many more of these things are there, and how many more of these cults could potentially be around?
Well, any worshipper of a destroyer deity is no good in my book.
On that we can agree.
And if they're in league with the destroyers, then, well,
Need to be stopped.
As much as it pains me to say, they cannot be allowed to proliferate. They must be removed from this world. Unfortunately, that is, we lost one of our members previously.
They didn't agree with how we handled it.
I see.
As I said, the constant repetition of returning this whisper, bringing them back as well as Dradith. We could not allow that. I could see no way that we could convince this, like I said, for lack of a better word, a giant mushroom queen of anything otherwise. And we were accused of murder, so
He left us the second we got to the city.
I'm
More
sorry.
or less. It happens. Different opinions and all that.
Well, that just leads me to believe that the ruins out in the desert should be left alone, buried in the sand.
that others have already disturbed them means that we should do what we can to investigate and ensure that there is nothing else like this going.
Yes.
So
It should be long buried and forgotten.
I tend to agree with you that others have disturbed this area doesn't mean that there's not some other kind of cult brewing. For now, we have more information that we need to look at, and more than we need to do to help if we can to secure this city trade.
Well, I will do what I can to make sure that any word of cultist activity is spread like wildfire, that they might be ousted.
Yes. Perhaps you or someone you know could help us with our research into these different
If I knew someone,
gods.
they there are other temples in the city that might be a little bit more knowledgeable and have a larger library of ancient scriptures and stories and things of that sort. But they're all in the upper districts, as well as the Bard College.
Of course. Everything's gonna be up there, isn't it?
If there's anywhere in this city that'll have the goods that we seek, unfortunately, we have to deal with them.
You do have coin. You've been generous enough to share it with us, but
We are only generous enough to share with those who, how do I say this politically? Not fucking pricks.
I suppose that is one way to put it, yes. But etiquette and formalities are something that the noblesse are more willing to hear out than your sort of blunt manner.
I grew up on the seas. It's a bit ingrained with the culture that I come from.
I mean, I know how to butter up nobles. I do it all the time. That's how I get
Yes,
tips.
buttering them up is one thing, greasing their palms is another, and it should not require us to grease their palms to actually get in and butter anyone up.
I wish the city worked different, but it doesn't. Everything revolves about, well, it revolves around hierarchy.
Some of that I understand because, well, ships run the same way. There's a hierarchy among the crew, however, it does not generally require bribing one's mates to actually get things done.
I suppose. But that is the way of it.
Just a corrupt way of things.
Yes.
Well, I don't have anything further to say about that.
I'm assuming we've had our dinner and conversation.
Oh yeah, you can eat and talk.
Wait,
Okay. Lagan will assume that we are still welcome at Father Masterson's temple for lodgings.
Yep, he's okay with
He
that.
will make his farewells to Bell and Strings. Wish them a good eve.
Yes, rest well.
Well, if it is still all right with you, Father Masterson, I'm going to go find a rest.
You look worn, and I'm sure the heat of the day has only made its toll on you.
It is quite draining on such as myself. I'm not accustomed to such heats. Cold? Yeah, that's a different story. Heat? Not so much.
is our walking snowman?
A walking snowman. well, if you're caked in snow, I suppose that would be the truth, wouldn't it?
And Father Masterson would see that he doesn't wear shoes. There's probably a blister or two from the heat of the scorching sand on his feet.
Yes, I'm sure you're. I'm sure everyone could use a way to put their feet up. Come, let me at least put you up for the night once more.
I appreciate that.
And he kind of leads you all back to that that little church, to the the Soul Forger. Kind of walking past all of the seats in the room and guiding you all back to the sleeping quarters. A couple of the other priests have started doing some of their nightly rituals, some of which are, cleaning uh, cleaning the space and making sure that everything's kind of swept and dusted, because the sand does make its way, sadly, into every building of the slums. But you all are able to rest your weary heads. Any lingering aches and pains kind of melt away as you fall asleep. And I think that is where we're going to leave the session for tonight. This way, the Lucky Sevens can start fresh in the morning.
Woohoo!
Well, thank you guys for playing.
Thank you for running.
Thank you. Don't die on us.
I'm sorry, I'm out of drink. But yeah, this is the end of tonight's session. We're going to go over some XP, because our 4 members of the Lucky Sevens are here today. So you each get your 5 for showing up. And you each get 5 for taking down a young, kind of adolescent bullet. And then we decide between the 4 of you who moved things as far as plot goes the furthest, who had our best scene, and what was the best line from tonight. So, Black Wolf, if you could set up a poll for us if you're here, and do a Twitch poll this time around, since we only have 4 players. We only need 4 options. So, who moved things along today?
Well, Wolf was probably in bed, by the way.
Black
I
Wolf's in
noticed he
bed.
posted in I noticed he posted in Derek's server that he was probably gonna go to bed.
Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and make the poll then. You guys decide.
All right.
Uh, I am torn between Lagan and I'm gonna lightly throw Kinwin out there. If it wasn't for Kinwin, we wouldn't have known what the ruins were saying.
I would potentially throw strings in there as well, because without strings being able to perfectly copy that, we wouldn't have any idea.
True.
Hmm.
True,
Yeah,
true.
I was gonna throw strings, but I say throw Kinwin for that one. For actually knowing Celestial.
So is it
So
a fit?
Lagan.
Lagan. So is 1 Lagan, 2 for Kinwin? How many for Kinwin? 2? And then, was it 1 for strings?
Yeah.
Okay, and Kinwin gets it. Majority vote. Who had our best scene, or best portion of the scene?
That's tough.
I'm gonna throw Vanya in there for the last convo with Karthus. Switching to Infernal and all that awkward goodness.
Agree with that.
Please, people, vote.
Yes, vote.
Yes, vote in our audience favorite poll. Doesn't matter how long you've been in the chat. Just pick something and use your channel points if you like.
Biased as all as you can be as biased as you want.
Yep, there's a lot of bias. So.
And you can use your channel points too.
Use your channel points, use your bits, all of it. But yes. Who did have the best scene? Who were we debating?
There were several good scenes today.
We had Vanya voting for herself because she really liked to speak with Karthus.
I'm gonna.
Scene.
I would say strings being unable to perceive anything, but that's also what I want the best line to be. Is just him complaining.
You gotta pick one.
So I'll say Vanya.
Okay. It's 2 for Vanya. Sir, what?
Yeah, Vanya.
Vanya. Okay. Vanya gets it. Majority vote. And then best line, Darkwolf obviously wants strings for I need creativity.
I will vote strings.
Fair
for that one.
landscape. I can't bear to look at it. I need art. I need creativity.
Yes. I will vote strings for that one.
Yep.
All right, strings it is. All right. Well, we still got the audience favorite coming up. Vote as many times as you have channel points for, so do so, please. Much appreciated.
And I am officially level 5.
Ooh.
So am I.
I am 9 points away.
Ooh.
We're almost there.
Oh, man.
Level 5.
You're how many points away, Kinwin?
Said I am also level 5 now.
Ooh. We've got a couple dings at level 5. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Get extra attack.
Yes. Some of our characters get extra tech. Others get some pretty cool features. You know, it is a level that kind of ups the difficulty.
Yep.
It is a bit of a milestone. So,
Yes, it is.
so
Oh god, I gotta go back to the character page so I can see what my notes were.
And at this level now,
mhm.
Told the Dead will now do 2d8 or 2d12.
Ooh, so your cantrips now do 2 damage dice. Nice. Da 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 da.
I get
Yes.
another first level spell and then 2 second level spells, which I already had them picked out.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I know I get more spells. I'm looking more
More
at the
spells and
damage die for
slots.
Toll the Dead.
More spells and slots. Yep. Our casters get more spells and slots. Delightful, delightful. Strings hasn't dinged 5 yet, but he will.
Not far behind us now.
Not far. Nope. Nope.
Should be next game.
I do XP this way because XP is arbitrary anyway, and I decide the rules.
Yeah.
I am God.
Well, my hit points are now 50.
Ooh, look at you. I might have to start slapping you guys harder.
Please don't. I am squishy.
You can hit me harder. But the way I hit other things should not be hitting the party. That's going to hurt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you set the standard, Lagan.
Yeah, because I can pretty much TPK the whole party if I ever get that fucking shit. Oh, damn.
You're kind of the bar that I set. Everyone else has to follow suit. Because it's Mojo Dice. We have a fucking emote for that.
Right?
We have a whole emote for that.
Oh, I'm aware.
So I do have to set the bar a little high because your luck
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only learned one more spell.
your luck kind of sets the bar. Everybody else has to catch up.
Yeah. I'm aware.
Mhm.
Let's see.
But I appreciate y'all anyway.
Move that.
Wait.
And
Radagast this leopard and gets yell at for high damage.
oof. Alright, so I am removing Speak with Animals and adding Pass Without Trace, so I have that for second level.
Okay, so that was your spell swap. Okay, what did you take that was new?
Pass Without Trace was that one, and then also I took Cure Wounds.
Cure Wounds,
Yeah.
not a bad choice.
No.
Not a bad choice. Especially
I wasn't using Speak with Animals as much as I thought I would.
right.
So considering I only know 4 spells and I have a level 2 slot open, I'm like, okay, let's do Pass Without Trace because that's gonna come in handy.
Yep, it's a great spell for rangers because it adds to everybody. And rangers, when it comes to their spell casting, are kind of a buff and debuff and help everyone kind of a situation. They're definitely really good for that, and Cure Wounds kind of gives you the ability to be field medic if you need to be.
Yeah. And that'll come in handy because I know we have like a lot of healers already.
You have a lot of field medics, not healers.
Well, yeah. A lot of field medics.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly.
Well, the nice thing about
Bard.
cleric and druid spell list is that they can be prepared differently every day. But if you're kind of focusing in on specific things as far as what you like to do as far as the way that you play, then yeah, I can see that. So if Kinwin wanted to, he could take Cure Wounds for a spell, but he's more of the guy who wants to AoE everything.
Yeah.
Right, Kinwin?
Oh,
Only
boy.
makes
So, human
I am now less
spells and mean being.
Yep, you could do hell of it.
Well,
I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
I just gained access to call lightning.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
one of my favorite spells.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
got so much use out of Call Lightning with Norlight.
I've got it too, and it's always prepared for me.
Yeah. Call Lightning is definitely definitely in the vein of the Wild Mother. The Wild Mother and Cord, the Storm Lord. The you kind of really lining up with that. So the Storm Lord being her son, after all.
Yep.
But yeah. But the audience favorite poll is closing up soon, so get your last minute
Okay.
shenanigans in.
As part of my channel divinity, I now have destroy undead, CR1 or
Ooh,
lower.
CR1 destroy. Hella,
Yes.
hella. Well, that's gonna come
Yep.
in. That's gonna come in handy. And
Yeah.
Vanya
Don't
gets
fail
our
those saving throws.
Vanya gets our audience favorite for tonight. Woohoo!
Congratulations.
Well, that concludes the show for tonight. And since Raven stepped away for a bit, we're gonna kind of pass on the shout outs for tonight. But definitely go check out Raven Star. She is an awesome streamer. She's an awesome person, and so I'm gonna give her a quick shout out in chat so that you guys can at least follow the link to check her out, because she does Dead by Daylight stuff and occasionally does other things like photo editing, and and it's mostly just chill vibes. So I was just shouting you out. Um, but yeah, check out Raven because she does the good things. Raven, Vanya gets that audience favorite XP. So in case you didn't notate it yet. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Let's go find out if there's somebody to raid. Oh, let's see who is on. That we
Derek
can.
is still drawing.
Is Derek still drawing?
Still on?
Okay,
Yep.
then let's go
Oh.
raid Derek and get an idea of some of the drawings that he's been commissioned to do regarding Austin from yesterday. So,
Ooh.
so yeah, he's drawing a scene from that. Let's go give him a CoffeeCat raid, and see what else going on there. So, get ready for the raid, everyone. And see you all next time for when when we do Austin by Starlight again on Wednesday, and Rebirth again on Thursday. Don't forget to check out everything that you need for my channel at coffeecatpresents.com, because there's the links to my YouTube, my Discord, my socials. Everything is there, so go and check that out. But we shall see you all next time. So say goodnight, everyone.
Die.
Good night.